So Roger likes the element of surprise.
I'm sure I'm going to be hearing about this one for a while. The main thing is, tell them you might do something.
Right now we're going to Black Canyon City.
I did not know we were going to Cottonwood today.
So there's Indian Mesa.
Oh, it's cold up here.
And I know there's some Indian ruins.
What's to say that there isn't going to be that kind of updraft around here?
We were in a significant downdraft right there.
Wow!
Ooh, scared me. Don't be hollering.
I'm exhausted, cold, tired.
Yeah, it's only going to get warmer.
He likes to make
right.
it dramatic.
Out. Out. Zoop.
When we fly, we often don't have any plans. We just see where the wind takes us that day. Most often, our most memorable flights happen on days I least expect it. The forecast for this day was 102 degrees. I was not prepared on a warm summer day in September to be flying in cold temperatures at high altitude for an extended period of time. I do admit I have a low tolerance to cold, especially after being in temperatures over 100 degrees for the past 4 months. I should have known when Roger put his gloves and light jacket on, something was up. But this turned out to be one of my favorite flights, and I'm glad I get to share it with you. Hope you enjoy our flight to Cottonwood, Arizona.
Right now we're going to Black Canyon City. Wow, you can really see where the water lines were. Lake's pretty low. Wow, I remember that island when I was boating. Look at how green it is right out in here. There's Indian Mesa. Right there. On the far west, northwest side of that is where the Indian ruins are.
Yeah, I can see it when I zoom in.
Oh, you can see where some rocks fell down here. See where the rock slide happened? Big ones. It's wild. And then, here's the old landing strip that I was talking about, off to the right. That's a real old one. Oh yeah, the olive tree is really green. I could spend a whole day just flying right out of here.
Yeah, and while it's incredibly beautiful, I want you to notice the short socks. See, that's my foot. This is me tucking my thin pants into my quarter socks because my ankles have been totally exposed to the cold air for about 40 minutes at this point. Also, notice that I don't have any gloves on as I film, and the jacket I have on is a very light jacket with a tank top underneath. During this 2-hour flight to Cottonwood, we're mostly flying at an altitude between 5,800 to 6,700. There's a wind chill of 60 to 68 miles an hour. Typically in these temperatures, I wear a full thermal flight suit with heated gloves, boots with heated insoles, and thick socks, and even a heated jacket or vest underneath. It's funny how you can have this incredible beauty you can't stop filming, yet you also wonder what stage of hypothermia you might be in. I later found an extra jacket in our side bag. However, it was out of reach and would not have been safe to take out during flight.
I wonder if I should give her my extra pair of gloves. My hands are getting a little sweaty.
You can see these ranchers out here that built their homes, seemed like in the middle of nowhere. So we're coming up to Rock Springs. We've gotten a lot of pies there. They make really good pies, and it's kind of a rustic Western type of restaurant. It's been there for so many years. I think I remember eating there way back in the 60s.
The first time I drove to Phoenix, I remember driving down this plateau. I was awestruck seeing the valley below. Now flying over it, it's even more spectacular than I could have ever imagined.
Check out these volcanic basaltic flows. The viscosity of the basalt was low enough to make it self-leveling, but ended by making huge straight up and down walls along the edges. This Indian ruin we are now flying over is on top of one of these basaltic flows. The ruin is called Black Mesa. Diane and I hiked up there and were amazed at how steep and difficult of a hike it was. We drank all of our water while climbing before we reached the top. On the way up, there was a rattlesnake happy to see us and rattled hello. Those poor Indians that had to climb up there on a daily basis. This Indian ruin is built very similar to Fortaleza. Check out our documentary on Fortaleza, A Journey Back in Time, if you haven't seen it. The basaltic flows make valleys that are not reliant on corrosion and can shape the course of rivers and streams. This area demonstrates that. If you want to see basaltic flows larger than this, look up at the moon. The dark spots are basaltic flows.
This is the Agua Fria National Monument area, named after the Agua Fria River below, which only flows after heavy rains. We discovered a few hidden Indian ruins here.
With a viewpoint by air on certain days, depending upon how the sunlight falls on the ground, we can follow ancient trails directly to ruins. Notice the terrace look to the terrain below. This appears to be where the Indians farm their corn, squash, and beans. The marks in the earth, surprisingly, will last for an indefinite period of time. These ruins date to approximately the 1400s.
This is Arcasanti. It is an experimental town with a molten bronze bell casting business that started in the 1970s. You can tour it in person, or YouTube has a lot of excellent videos showing you this creative and unique property.
This is strange. A single rock wall in the middle of nowhere. Make your comments below and let me know what you think it might have been used for and/or who made it. This area is known as Copper Canyon. I grew up in a small town called Camp Verde, which is just below this canyon. This is the old wagon trail just off to our right. It is drivable in a four-wheel drive.
This is something I've always wanted to do, is fly right here. It's crazy.
You never done it?
I've never flown right here.
You could say that like every 100 feet, right?
Yeah.
As I fly over this mountain ridge, I remember when I worked for the Forest Service and landed in a helicopter here to put out a fire that lightning had caused. That was fun.
Cottonwood traffic, Revo Trike 88, Zulu Zulu, 1 mile final, runway 32, full stop, Cottonwood. Cottonwood traffic, Revo Trike 88, Zulu Zulu, clear of the runway at Charlie, taxi over to the fuel pump area.
All right, so we're in Cottonwood. And I froze Diane out. I didn't give her any warning. How was your flight up here, Diane?
It was the third coldest I've ever been in my entire life. The other two were on the motorcycle at 35 degrees with barely any clothes. This was 62 degrees with this, but I'm also used to 100-degree temperature all summer long, so I'm still cold actually, but it was beautiful and amazing. But I still would like a warning, like, hey, we might go to Cottonwood today. So Roger likes the element of surprise.
I'm sure I'm going to be hearing about this one for a while. The main thing is,
rest of your life.
tell them you might do something.
Well,
Tell them you might fly someplace far.
I have hundreds,
even though that's what I always do.
if not thousands of dollars. Well, I've been talking about Cottonwood for 2 years or 3 years, never happened. And I have thousands of dollars of heated gear. And, but we haven't flown up here for 2 years. I mean, we've been flying for months in warm weather, so I was not prepared. I was prepared with this for 60 degrees for like 15 minutes, but...
All right, well, you've heard from Diane. So this is Cottonwood. It's a beautiful day to fly up here. And I offered to take her to Sedona to go eat breakfast, but she wants to go home.
Well,
Go get some food there.
I'm so exhausted.
We ate
and
some little beef
sore,
sticks.
and I'm still cold. I'm exhausted, cold, tired.
Yeah, it's only going to get warmer.
He likes to make
All right.
it traumatic.
Out. Out. Zoop.
Cottonwood traffic, report Trike 80 Zulu Zulu, departing runway 32, I'll depart to the east. A little fast. Little current up here. Campground area, and this is the lake campground.
Is it like Wild Horse?
Yeah, Wild Horse, thank you.
So this is Cottonwood, very green, along the Verde River.
You can see Sycamore Canyon out over here. I think that's it back over there.
Way against the red.
Cottonwood,
Oh, it's
Cessna 140, turning right.
far, far away, or
to
no?
Cottonwood.
Yeah, it's a little further away yet. All right, we're at the confluence of where Oak Creek is dumping into the Verde. That's Oak Creek right there. There's the Verde. So that's just above Thousand Trails. That's interesting. I've got to climb to get up over the big mountain. That's what I'm doing.
See the clouds building over there?
Yeah.
Is that anything or not really?
Well, it just shows potential, so it's not anything yet. Wouldn't want to be flying underneath those, probably.
Less than an hour ago when we flew here, there were literally no clouds, and it's monsoon season. These storms can come up super quick and become really strong, violent storms. So I was pretty nervous. Thermal activity happens as the sun heats the earth, causing rising air currents, making for a more turbulent ride. We will have to choose between rising above the thermals, where it's much colder to find smoother air, or traveling through the thermals to stay warmer. I am already so cold and tired that my tolerance is extremely low and my fears are rising. I almost didn't want to share with you what happens next, but I did learn a lot from this experience I will share with you at the end of this video.
If I start hitting significant ridge lift, I'll start turning this way. If it's not much ridge lift, I won't worry about it. Not too bad. All right, we're going to start hitting some little turbulence probably in here. I don't think it'll be too bad. There it is. It'll last until we get up a little bit further. What's bad?
That may not be over, right?
Well, there might be a little bit more. I don't think it'll be too much stronger than that. Good altitude now.
Famous last word.
Good altitude. Just relax. Speed us up a little bit.
That's how it goes. Relax.
Relax.
Relax. Okay, so you see those clouds building over there. What's to say that there isn't going to be that kind of updraft around here?
Well, you have significant moisture in this air. As the time goes on and it warms up, the air rises, and then that moisture condenses. And I don't need to climb anymore. Let me just speed this thing up and drop my RPM down. So we're in a descent now. Well, that was an easy climb. We were able to climb up very easily out of there.
Okay, so you didn't answer my question. When these clouds are building all around us, how do we know that there isn't going to be like a updraft kind of thing going where we are?
Well, there's going to probably be a little thermal activity, but we're not going to be in those clouds. We're going to be below. Later in the day, there could be some cumulonimbus activity out here. It didn't really call for rain or anything. We were in a significant downdraft right there. All right. There. Ooh, scared me. Don't be hollering, please. What? Don't holler. It's nothing. Relax. Try not to holler, babe. That doesn't help anything.
I wonder if would we be safer higher?
Maybe, but it's colder up higher.
Look, there's a house down by the river, which
Yeah, it's gorgeous.
is not flood.
That would be a cool house.
Oh, dear Lord, Father God, please.
Oh, it's okay.
Help us.
This isn't anything.
Oh, well, that's what scares me. If this is nothing.
This is still mild.
Yeah.
If it gets bad, you'll hear me hollering. But I don't like that hollering because it hurts my ears.
Well, I don't know.
Well, believe it or not, the hollering does not calm you.
Well, I don't know if you can say that those clouds building are insignificant to us.
Well, we're not going to be in those. Those are above the Bradshaws. We're not going over that way. We're above the freeway here. We're keeping the freeway in our view. We're getting updrafts, downdrafts, crosswinds. We're getting hit with a lot of different little things, but it's nothing that area. We're at 5,300. It was relatively smooth. I've cut power, and I'm going to descend it kind of rapidly here.
Oh, are we just getting a adrenaline break? A break from the adrenaline. Well, I guess you can go back up if you start.
Yeah, I'll go back up.
Oh.
Yeah, it is kind of up down there. All right, I'll just stay up here. I wanted to really zoom this mesa.
How about when it's a little earlier in the day, or there's not like terrible clouds?
What
going
time
on?
is it right now?
It's like 9:30.
All right, when we don't have these big cumulus clouds next to us.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, if it was really a nice day, I'd fly it right down south.
God, why did you let me crash my aircraft? Well, I kept giving you warnings that.
Oh, we're not going to crash. Everything's fine.
But you kept wanting to fly.
Everything's fine.
Yeah.
Alright, so we're 52 miles from Buckeye.
88 Zulu Zulu, you can choose your altitude at your discretion.
So, turbulence just popped up, showing turbulence. Oh, look at the wind on the water.
Oh God, are you doing that on purpose?
No,
What do we do? Oh,
just relax.
but how do you turn out of this?
We're going over the top of it. Climbing a little bit. We're 11 miles out now. Seatbelt,
Check,
in strap,
check,
throttle,
check,
diaper.
full.
Alright, might get a little rough. It's just Let's just hope it's just fine. Just pretty high here. Oh my gosh.
What?
Just getting hit with winds. This is gonna get bumpy, babe. Fast because a lot of winds here. I have extra energy. There we go.
Hi.
Thank you very much.
A little more adrenaline today than having a what?
And part of that's probably because you got cold, and part of it's because we were getting hit with. We were going over bigger mountains, but overall, it was a very beautiful, safe flight.
Yeah, my body hurts from cold, my shoulders.
I had to give significant control there at the very end.
What did I learn on this flight? This flight was a turning point for me. The stabilized video doesn't accurately portray the turbulence I was experiencing. Flying over this terrain with towering clouds looming in the background was a bit intimidating. We experienced a mixture of fast, multi-directional winds, powerful thermals, and significant downdrafts, more than I have ever experienced before. Strangely, this flight helped me to learn to relax and enjoy flying at a whole new level. I still don't like to be cold. It's uncomfortable and exhausting. It distorts and intensifies fears. So I learned to be prepared for cold, unexpected weather. Even in the summer, I keep accessible my heated gear and I can shed layers of gear as needed. I must admit, watching this, I feel kind of embarrassed. Of course, I didn't see anyone else flying to Cottonwood this morning. So I guess I'm not doing too bad. Fly me to Sedona, Roger.
Let's just hope it's just fine.
We appreciate you watching our Larson adventure film. And if you enjoyed it, please hit the like button. It helps our channel and promotes aviation. And check out our other Larson adventure films here on YouTube. Also, don't forget, make a comment if you know what that wall might have been used for and who possibly made it. It's always fun to read your comments. Thanks for watching.